JLR investigates 39-year-old Nikki McCain is still missing. She vanished May 17th, 2024. She is a mother of 4, Shasta County. I am here with 2 of Nikki's sisters, Kay and Chloe. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everything going with you guys?
And there's a lot going on, yeah.
Taking it a day at a time, hoping that something happens. We find her some new evidence, just hoping something pops up.
So this morning we're in front of the Superior Court in California, Shasta County. What's going on today?
Today was it was like a hearing for Tyler was arrested 2 nights ago for driving under the influence, and I believe there were some ammunition charges. So this was to address those that booking or arrest, but today they decided they'll group it with his next hearing, which will be on August 19th.
It's been months now since Nikki. Anything new? Anything?
No new updates as now.
Any no searches? Anything planned or?
No, we did have some groups, and us included, that we're planning on doing some more searches. But we have been dealing with some fires out here, some evacuations or evacuation warnings, as well as the air quality, and also being in the triple digits the last couple weeks. So at this point, we're kind of waiting for that to calm down a little bit. The fires have, the wind has shifted a little bit, so the air quality is a lot better. So we are hoping to get something scheduled here very soon.
Share with the public a little bit about Nikki. Who is Nikki as a person?
Oh my gosh, Nikki, she's funny, she loves to eat, she is such a strong individual, and we really miss her and her presence.
Yeah, she's super energetic. She is very fun and funny person. She
has a lot of energy. Good energy.
Mm-hmm.
We've made a few videos bringing awareness to the situation and hoping that Nikki is found soon. Your family can get answers. A lot of people want to know about the children, 4 children. How are they doing right now?
They're doing good. We try to keep them busy. We try to keep them occupied, kind of keep their mind off of things, and try to keep their life as normal as possible. They are aware that their mom is missing, and they haven't heard from her, so they are aware, but we're just kind of taking it a day at a time. Yeah.
So it's reported that Nikki went missing May 17th?
Yeah, so she was texting me May 17th, but the last text message that I got from her was 12:35 a.m., so it technically would make it May 18th, but it's the last.
Do you know for a fact it was her that you were texting with?
Yeah,
we're pretty sure it was her texting style, but you just never know.
Yeah, I want to say it was her, but also there's also that I have a little bit of doubt. Maybe what if it wasn't her? So, but I do believe to some point that maybe it was her.
What was the nature of the conversation, the text? Like, was she was any problems going on? Was life good? What,
Yeah, she was just telling me what was going on that night with Tyler's brother, who was in the hospital, and we were just talking about that.
That was mainly the topic because it was kind of what's happening right now. So it was, we're doing this now, oh my gosh, this happened. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of more of those updates with us, or with Chloe, about what was going on that night, to keep us in the loop with Tyler's family. Mm-hmm. So that was the majority, the main topic that night
that we were talking about.
How did you find out she went missing? Like, how did you get notified, and who notified you?
We had realized, with our entire family, we have a group message with all of the siblings, as well as a separate one with just me, Chloe, Nikki, and our other sister May. If we don't hear from any one of us for a couple of days, we'll be like, hey, have you heard from this person? And then we were connecting the dots and like, oh, I don't know, let's check with mom. Maybe she talked to mom, or let's talk, so by like Monday, Tuesday, we were like, well, we haven't heard from her, but that's not crazy to not hear from someone for a couple days. And then by Tuesday, and then especially Wednesday, we realized no one had seen or talked to her since that night. And we had also asked, I think Chloe asked Tyler if he had seen her or talked to her. And his, I don't know, that was the time when he kind of mentioned where he didn't know where she was either, and he himself might have said that I think she's missing, which was interesting because
suspicious.
Because he wouldn't say that before. If he didn't hear from her for a couple days,
he would ask.
Us where she was, and have you talked to your sister? Because sometimes she would go and stay at my mom's house for a few days to get away from him, or just to kind of take a little break. But he would always like ask us, where's your sister? Can you tell her this? I miss her. I love her. Tell her to come back. That kind of thing. So when he said, I think she's missing, instead of asking us, that was different.
And he usually, would say, if you talk to Nikki, tell her I love her, I miss her, tell her to come back home. But this time, he didn't mention any of that. He didn't say, tell her I love her.
He said, I think she's missing.
So just to bring some of the viewers up to speed, Tyler was arrested this beginning of December last year for domestic violence charges on Nikki, right?
Yes.
And then he was due in court. What day did he go to court? What was the date of court hearing?
There were several different dates, like the pretrial hearing, the preliminary hearing, and all. There were several leading up, but he did have a hearing in June, a few weeks. Well, he had one in May.
Before she went missing.
Yeah, before she went missing, there's one. There were a few leading up, but there was one at the beginning of May. I want to say it was May 7th. She went missing on May 17th, or 18th, so about
10 days.
10 days after, and then there was another type of hearing in June, but his hearing for all his felony charges was June 28th. And I think the trial was set for beginning of July.
But the case got dismissed, right? Because Nikki is the victim and she's not around to testify. The hearing before Nikki went missing is what was going on in court? Were they saying that we're going to proceed with trial kind of deal?
I believe that's what that
Yeah, and I think there were some other more misdemeanor type charges that were addressed during those hearings, but the one in the end of June and early July were for the felony charges.
Yeah, because a lot of the viewers, when we brought attention, were just like, that's just fishy. That's so suspect that they were in court just weeks prior, and then, a week prior, week and a half prior, and then, boom, she vanishes. It's like
too much of a coincidence, right?
Yeah, and then we know that she was sticking with her testimony. She wasn't budging from what she had initially told the police. So we do know that was a point of contention for them, that she wasn't willing to drop those charges.
When you were communicating with Tyler about, where's Nikki, or were you at the time, were you guys on good terms, or is it just bad blood because of what he's accused of doing to Nikki? Like, how was your relationship with Tyler?
It was okay. It wasn't like the best, but we were okay. Yeah.
Well, and we do try to keep a good relationship with the family. The kids do see his mom, their grandma, so we want to keep that relationship with their tribe. We want to keep that in their life. So it's important for us that they have a good communication with that side of the family. So we don't want to hinder that at all. So we do try to keep it really cordial. We try to keep the communications polite, and that we're doing it for the kids. We want to make sure that the animosity isn't on our side. And even when she went missing, we don't know exactly what happened, and so we're hoping with keeping a good relationship, we work together and we can find her together, piece together what we know, and give it to the police. We have found that that hasn't been the case. So the relationship is a little more, it's a little more. There's more tension there, but
Like his mom, have you guys tried to like talk to his mom and try to say, hey, man,
I did ask his mom if my sister did in fact take an Uber out of her house, and she told me that Nikki did not take an Uber out from her house.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about the Uber leaving the house, so the mother's saying that's not true.
Yeah, that she didn't take an Uber from her house, because I did hear that they did say, Tyler said she took an Uber out of here, and then I remembered my sister last texted me, told me she was headed there, so I was wondering, did Nikki take the Uber out from her house, or like where did she take this Uber? Because she has a vehicle. Why would she? So
we've been trying to clarify when Tyler says Uber, like where's this Uber?
Where did this?
Where does Uber? And then those answers have been kind of back and forth. So Chloe tried to clarify with Jeanette. And so apparently she did clarify that an Uber was not taken from her house.
But can't you check her phone to see the Ubers?
We don't personally have her phone, nor do we have her Uber account
and the password.
Shasta County Sheriff's Office, they're the lead investigators with this case. Have you guys been in communication with them regularly about this situation?
Yeah, they're pretty consistent with just updating us on what they're working on. I mean, obviously not with any details that might hurt the investigation, but they do keep us posted. And even if there's not much to report, they still check in. So we do feel like we're in the loop with them, but we do also understand there are things that they can't share, because it is a very active and ongoing investigation with a lot of different pieces that they're looking into. You have trust and faith that they will find Nikki, or find what happened to Nikki? I'm hoping so. I know they have a good amount of people on it, and they're getting tips all the time, so they're looking into all these tips.
And whenever we receive tips, we send it directly to
we share it with them as well. So I know they're following these tips that they're getting. Again, they can't obviously tell us where these tips lead them, or if they lead them to more tips, or if they don't go anywhere, but they do keep in good contact with us. Do you feel Nikki's still alive? We hope she's alive, but I think with the situation that she was in, and especially the incident in December, it's just, I just don't feel that someone who gets beat for 3 hours, it doesn't take that much more to go a little bit further from there. I mean, 3 hours is a long time to be in that state of mind where you don't care about someone's well-being, and so I don't think it takes that much more. It could have been 3 hours and 5 minutes, and the last time we talked to her, might have been that remaining 5 minutes that. A lot of people wonder why, since he's been charged with those egregious crimes on Nikki, why wasn't the bond higher? Why wasn't he in jail?
And a lot of people have asked that too, and I see that question online, and I've also wondered the same thing too.
I mean, I don't know how the bonds work and how those charges work, but I mean, I would assume that each charge is assigned a certain bond
or a certain
amount. So I don't know if they can just make an amount, but yeah, I mean, I mean, it was pretty severe. So I've seen other situations where it was like Nikki's, or maybe not even quite as severe, and the bond seems to be a little bit higher, or the bail seems to be a little bit higher. But I'm sure there is a rhyme or reason to that. I'm hoping. Tyler, recently, weeks back, there was a fire at his house. What do you think was going on with a fire at his next? Some vehicle equipment went on fire.
Yeah, so it was the catalytic converter that supposedly sparked a fire in the dry grass, and that's what sparked the fire.
That's what he told the reporter. we had said before, it's we've got fires going right now. We've got fires everywhere around us.
It's right in California. It's
so everyone,
110 degrees. It's hot, so everyone knows the safety and not to park your car, on dry grass. So I feel like everyone is very aware of that. Everyone knows that who was born.
That was either just a very absent-minded misstep and Tyler is he's kind of an expert with cars, and because he built go-karts for I think most of his life.
It was his hobby.
Yeah, it was hobby.
He uses go-karts.
So he definitely knows the ins and outs of mechanics, and then also being in fire, high fire danger area, and with so many fires that are already happening, that was definitely, like I said, whether it was an absent-minded thing or that just didn't.
I'll go as far as say hiding evidence, suspicious.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people
Yeah,
are
I mean,
saying.
they have a big property. That specific corner was is interesting. It was that corner that caught on fire, and just us being familiar with their property. That's not literally not a high traffic area. That's not an area that
where they would drive their cars.
Yeah, because that's kind of more of a corner of where cars that aren't running are kind of set. Yeah, I'm not like we're driving cars in and out of that area. So that was an interesting place for the fire to start.
Her children, 4 children, do they ask where's she at? They're looking for a mom. Do they ever speak, cry, get emotional about this whole situation?
They do, the younger ones especially, and I think the younger ones have a hard time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They miss their mom, and they'll ask us questions.
But I
Right.
think some of the comments they've made, I feel like they're a lot more aware and intuitive than we even think.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. They just want to see their mother. You two and your family. Can you just describe to the viewers your loved one is missing? What's your day like? What every day that this has been going on? What do you go through each day?
We all work, but on our breaks, we're checking our phones all the time. We're looking at maps. We're reading things that people send us.
We're driving. I'm driving.
Anytime we're not working,
people.
we're driving around, see if we see anything or feel anything. And when people tell us, check out this location, we're trying to do that. But at the same time, there's only so many hours in a day. We get home from work and we're trying to make dinner for the family, trying to keep that routine normal. But we're also we don't want this to go away. If we feel like other people aren't searching, at least we're searching, and we're deep diving on websites and chat rooms and seeing what people are saying, and seeing if we can do our own investigation. So we try to stay on top of it and do our own investigation as much as we can. And we between all of us siblings, we share what we learned that day, or we share what we've learned that week, to see if we're on the same page and where we think we should look or go next. Another piece of it too is also, like we were saying, protecting the children from it a little bit, and then and also our parents too. We try to protect them a little bit because it's hard on them because they get a lot more emotional about it than we do. We can kind of keep pushing through and keeping being strong for them, but I think that trying to reassure them that things are going well, that we're on the right path. There's a big piece of that too.
Are you concerned that Tyler will get full custody of the children down the line if, whatever the outcomes of the cases that he has? Does that concern you, him being alone with the children, considering Nikki's missing?
Well, as of right now, have the children, and he doesn't have custody of them, and he's not allowed visitation. So I would hope that, and their current arrangement is where they've been for the last 2.5 years. So I would hope that their child services system and their court system would see how much better the children have been doing in their current situation, and allow them to continue that. Because I think the setup now is worked really well, considering the circumstances, and additionally with their mom being missing, their current situation that we've all kind of collectively built for them and around them has a good support system, socially, emotionally, with counseling and whatnot. So I think activities to take them away from that would be would definitely. I mean, I wouldn't see any judge or child services worker, taking them out of that environment and then bringing them to someone who had already previously lost custody. So.
Gotcha.
Because he was consistent for the last 2.5 years, and so consistency is so important in children's lives.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't able to have custody prior to all this. So this has been going on for years, 2.5 years. So they were not even in the home over this past year when Nikki was still there, right? She was with your family, or the kids were with your family. So I would tend to agree that they would probably stay in the situation that they're in, and it's good they're safe.
One thing I'm noticing is there's not a lot of media attention to this. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think there is a lot of media? Do you want more media to talk about this?
I think as many eyes and focus we can get on this, the better. Because there are people who aren't necessarily we see that a lot of people are pretty active on Facebook, and they watch a lot of the YouTubes and TikToks, and we obviously we try to watch and read everything. There are people out there that aren't on social media. They just watch the news, or they just read the newspaper. So there's a big audience that it's really not reaching. So I think the more exposure, the better, because like I said, there are people out there who might have seen something or heard something that may not have even known about the case. People who were several feet from her, the hours before she went missing.
Do you have any idea of why there's such a lack of coverage by the mainstream media? Because it's not normal. From our perspective, a case like this normally gets a ton of media attention, and the way that we've kept up on the case is through social media, like you just said. So do you have any idea of why that would be? Why the local media is not out here today, every day?
Yeah, that is a really good question, because we've never been through this before, and I hope no one has to go through this, but I think because you guys are experts, and so because you guys are familiar with these things, and so I think just hearing that you guys feel like it's not getting enough media coverage in the local news is a really big eye-opener, and to get her story out even more. Yeah.
So we don't know. I mean, I think it's just people. Yeah, I guess they just decide what people want to hear, and if they and I know weather is a huge thing here.
It's hot out.
It's hot, and so people. I know that there's a big focus on the local news on weather,
fires
and things like that. So I don't know. It's a scary situation.
Yeah.
Someone's the last known location is right by the casino. People are scared. You don't want people to be scared to go. It's a main entertainment place in Redding. So I don't know. That could scare people to So I don't know. Maybe they want to keep.
So as far as the casino, the property and the ownership there, have they been allowing you guys to search around there, or been cooperative with you, or working with you guys?
Yeah. Not directly with us, but I know that they have given footage to law enforcement, and they did allow a search at certain areas of the property. So yeah, I think when asked, they have consented to specific requests.
Anything you'd like to add? We are praying for you guys and your family, and we'll do our best to put Nikki's face out there.
Thank you.
I just want to end. I mean, any message for Tyler at all?
I just empower you to remember how your relationship was in the beginning, and how much Nikki cared about you and keeping the family together, and how much she fought for you guys.
She was very loyal to you.
Very loyal. So I just help us find her. She fought very hard for you and the family. So I just please help us find her. Help us help the children. Give them some peace, and let's work together and find her. Let's work as a team.
Thank you guys for your time, and God bless you guys, and we'll keep bringing awareness. We're gonna find Nikki.
Thank you.
Thank you.